If you want to hear two guys that will ask questions that are sharper than Britney Spears' knives, go to www.NTTFGPOD.com and subscribe. I'm Rock.
And I'm Archie.
Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
It sounded like you queefed in your mouth.
You know what that felt like?
An inverted queef.
It felt like eating fucking a chili dog. Like it felt like eating a fucking wolfing down a chili dog at 12 o'clock, just fucking crushing it and getting back to work.
Oof.
So
Wait, hang on. You're not supposed to eat fucking hot dogs without me. What's going on here?
So everybody out there, we're just letting you know, if you haven't seen us already, that we've been doing a wiener review. And it's been doing pretty well for us. I mean, we're
Wiener
getting
Wednesday.
Wiener Wednesday. So we've been going to local hot dog joints, as we call it, and we've been trying out wieners. And we're getting hot dogs to eat too. But delicious. It gives me agita. Love hot dogs. They give me agita. That's what the shirt. Love hot dogs, give me agita.
Like you like a nice glizzy?
Which I don't understand that term. Which I looked that up. I didn't understand what that meant. A fucking glizzy. So
Cool.
check us out on our YouTube at NTTFGPOD on YouTube, and check out our wiener reviews, man. Show some love, share it, like it. It's
Give
a
us
good time.
some suggestions of wieners we should ingest. Where we should go.
That's where I would. A friend of ours hit us up, Johnny Cat. There's a place called the 1950 of the original or something like that in Westwood. Yeah. Like these fucking not gourmet hot dogs, but like specialty hot dogs, we'll call them.
Yeah.
Fucking that's on our list. Angelo tells us to go to Dickie D's in Newark. That's on our list. Chris's Red Hots in Fairfield. That's on our list.
Verona, stupid.
That's what I said. Verona is on our list. So we got a lot of hot dogs.
And I'm pretty sure our friend Nick DiPaolo said Nick Dickie D's.
Oh, I thought it was Angelo. Said,
man, you're fucking up everything.
Fuck you.
Whoa, hey now.
But what's cool about this is that Rocco and I get to spend some one-on-one together.
Whoa.
We get to review some hot dogs. We love hot dogs. We love toppings on hot dogs. And a lot of people are into it. We're into it, and it's a good time. Check it out. Subscribe to our YouTube page and watch us eat wieners. I mean, you know, it's not like going on OnlyFans and watching us fuck or something like that. Each other or whatever the case may be. What? Who said that? So subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yeah, we're check our OnlyFats page out, eating wieners. Arch, here we go. This Saturday, November 11th, UFC 295 in Madison Square Garden.
Ooh, you going?
Hell yeah, I'm going. Big Apple, get ready.
I'll meet you there. All right.
All right. Want to meet outside Gate B?
Yes.
You'll page me when you get there.
Yes. Page you. Yes, I'll page you.
In the co-main event for the UFC interim heavyweight championship, Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall.
Okay.
Razor close fight. Probably a pick'em. We are going our official pick, Tom Aspinall, the new UFC heavyweight champion. Interim, that is.
That's your pick.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's make this happen. Come on, Tom.
In the main event.
He's 13-3. Let's do this.
In the main event, former light heavyweight champion Yuri Prohaskich versus former middleweight champion, Alex Poton Pereira.
Okay.
This one is going to be I'm going to say slugfest. Our official prediction, Alex Pereira, two-time UFC champion, was middleweight champion, now is going to win the interim light heavyweight championship. You heard it here first, folks. UFC 295.
Rocco's not right about a lot of things, so I'm sure this one is going to be right.
Enjoy the fights.
Guess why I can't meet you at Madison Square Garden?
Tell me why.
Me and Boo Boo are going down to Atlantic City.
Meet me in Atlantic City.
Meet me in Atlantic City. And we are going to see Sebastian Maniscalco at the Borgata.
Nice.
We are starting off. We are dropping. It's a Springsteen. We're dropping our kids off at our moms. We're gonna go down to T River, good old Tom's River. We're gonna fucking keep going south, and then we're gonna go to the Golden Nugget.
Whoa.
We are going to dine at a place called Vic and Anthony's Steakhouse.
Ooh, I heard it's very good.
I heard it was very good too. So we're psyched about that. And then we are going to go to the Borgata for Sebastian Maniscalco. This would be our 6-year anniversary present to us.
Aww.
Yep. And we don't really go out that much. And
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. And this is going to be a good time. And we hope this will be a good time.
He's hilarious live. He's great.
I can't tell you the last time I've been to a big comedy.
You
show.
can tell me. Come on.
All right. Long time. But I'm gonna next episode. I'll let you know how it was. You know?
You say, Archie, you had some broccoli in your hair.
Yeah, you could get a cup of Sanka.
Cup of Sanka. They populated this burrito with so much. The tortilla
identify as a tiger.
He's the fucking best. I love him.
Yeah, so this should be. I mean, we got these fucking tickets in February. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, go there. Enjoy your anniversary.
We're gonna enjoy. Me and the wife. You got a little hotel. We're gonna maybe paint the town red, as the kids say.
And
couple drinks.
Staying true to form.
Yeah.
Nobody ever leaves Atlantic City feeling well.
I never.
You could win a G Whiz. You still don't leave there feeling well.
Quick story, right? So me and my wife, she's not my wife at the time, she's my girlfriend. We're at a company Christmas party. We actually met at this company. And but she left to go to a different company. But anyway, we go down to my company's Christmas party, and we definitely know people there, both of us. So she's comfortable, obviously, with everybody. Blah blah blah. So we get, what's the right word? Annihilated. Now, on 2 to 3 days prior to this, I had the bright idea. We're gonna go. Listen, trust me, it's gonna work.
I got this.
We're gonna go to the hotel. I can't. What's the fucking hotel that has no casino? It's just for whatchamacallit. It's just like condos. Do you know what hotel I'm talking about?
Courtyard or Clarion or fucking some bullshit.
I can't remember, but you understand what I'm saying, right? It's
I think they call it the hotel for cheap motherfuckers like you. Go ahead.
Not nice. So,
but accurate.
They fucking. We're gonna go there the morning after the Christmas party, and we're gonna look at timeshares. Now, damn
in
sure.
Atlantic City?
Yeah, but you can get a timeshare anywhere, right? It's one of those things. That's home base, but you can go anywhere. Damn well know for sure we're not getting a fucking timeshare ever. Yeah. But what the contract said, come for a tour and you can go on vacation for free. So we were just going for the vacation, right? I mean, we're fucking dumb, whatever. So so you ready for this? Me and Boo Boo get fucking shitaki'd. Okay. Now there's a point where you could attest to this, right? There's a point where you get drunk, you wake up, you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
I need an Advil. I need an Advil, and we can get this day going. Get real drunk, and you wake up and you're like, oh fuck. Yeah. Like this.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, I need an Advil bad.
You mean Advil, Gatorade, bacon, egg, and
Coffee,
cheese?
a BC, and then you wake up here, right about here. And you want to know what here is? Fucking chills, sweating, cold, fucking panic attack central. I don't even take it. Xanax, where are you, Xanax? I don't even take Xanax. So you ready? We wake up, and I know she felt bad, but I was here. Level 10, okay? I'm like, oh God, we got to go to this timeshare thing. Like normal, we would be like, fuck this. No, we're not going.
But you wanted that vacation.
We wanted that vacation.
Oh.
We get there. I can only imagine the fumes that are coming out of her and I. Like just stinking.
You both ends, I'm sure.
So this guy had the fucking, like he was talking his spiel so much that he had the crusty white stuff.
And you lose me with that.
And he was talking, but in the waiting area, right? They had a jug of water. But what you would call, you never hear people call, hey, that's spa water. Because it's like fucking lime, lemons, and
they cut up lemons and fucking cucumbers that are fucking haven't been washed with their fucking dirty dick beaters.
Like this, I was in the waiting room. Fucking go. I'm like, hey, honey, would you like more hot water? Fucking jumping out of my skin, drinking this fucking hotel fucking spa water.
First of all, it was tap water that some guy fucking cut up fucking limes with grabbed them with his fucking shit hooks and fucking threw them in there.
We're going on this tour. We go on this tour, and this guy is fucking selling it, and he's selling it. And like, I didn't have the heart to just be like,
ain't buying shit.
I didn't have the heart to just be like, I'm fucked. Like, sir, if you only know how bad my wife and I feel, or my girlfriend and I, like, if you only know. And he's taking us from room to room, and then, oh, this is the amenities, and this is the pool, and this is at all our locations, and this and that, and like this hotel smell, you know, the host smell, the hotel smell, and you're just like, I said, if I don't fucking throw up on this tour, it'll be a miracle. So we took the tour. And then they fucking sit us down, and they had the fucking manager. If you sign today and only put 300 down, we could get the. Sir, first off, your spa water's empty.
Yeah.
Second off, we're not purchasing today. If you like, I think I got to a point. I was like, listen.
Third off, sir, if I had $300 on me, I'd be wearing somebody else's fucking pants.
I go, I'll be honest with you. We're not buying anything. If you don't, and if you don't want to give us the vacation, but we got to get the fuck out of here. It was one of the worst. I remember leaving there, and she's like, we did not need to do that. And I remember coming out, right? And it was a Christmas party, so it's December, and it's fucking freezing mid-December in Atlantic City, and the fucking air was hitting me, and I was like, breathing in the fucking air. Yo, it was one of the most panic attack central. So going back to what you said, leaving Atlantic City, you never feel well.
You never feel well.
We got a cool episode coming up. Our boy Chuck Shute. It was a fun one, right?
Yeah.
He was he's a good dude. He not only does he interview the same type of caliber, the same type of people that we interview, from musicians to sports to comedians, but what what he does is at the end of the interview, he'll ask them what charity that they belong to and what they fight for and what they donate to and what the cause is. So check out this episode coming up with Chuck Shute. It's going to be a hoot with Chuck Shute. Don't pollute. And
Like you're doing like a weird PSA.
do you remember Don't Pollute? Right? Was it when we were kids?
Give a hoot.
Give a hoot. Don't pollute. Yes, that's it. Check this out. Chuck Shute. Yo, Rock.
Yo.
Tonight, this episode is going to be a fun one. Our guest today is a fellow podcaster.
An all-around good guy.
From musicians to athletes to comedians, I think this is why we like him so much. His podcast has been exploding due to his in-depth research and charitable praise. Welcome to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast, Chuck Shute.
Hey, thanks for having me. Awesome to be here.
What's up, Chuck?
What's up, Chuck?
Not much.
Yo, man. So check this out, dude. I'm sure, you've seen clips of art. We see clips of you all the time. Like you come up in our feed all the time. And Rocco and I are just like, he's a fucking all around. He just seems like a good guy and he's getting good guests and he's having a great time. So we definitely could fucking relate to what you're doing right now, my friend.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I could fool you. I think that I'm a good guy and and my guests are good. And yeah, that's great. No, thank you. It's a nice compliment. Yeah, I see some of your guys' stuff too sometimes, and I've listened to a few like the Eddie Trunk and I think, did you guys have Ricky Rackman on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I listened to that one, and you had Mark Norman, and I just listened to the Tiger King one. That was awesome.
That was an interesting one. That was, when somebody could call you from prison.
Yeah, and it says that like multiple times, like you're being recorded in prison. I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy. Yeah.
And they told us when I talked to his manager, it was like, listen, just so you know, you can't say certain things, and if you do, and it's up to the prison's judgment, anything you say, they can hang up on you immediately. I'm like, we have 15 minutes with them. Don't hang up immediately. I'm like,
well, yeah, because it was right at the end. You start talking about Carol Baskin, and then it's like, your time is almost up. They're like, shit, did we say something wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a fun one, and I'm sure like the array of guests that you've had some. All right, so so I went through your catalog, skimming through, and there's a bunch of fucking people that I've listened to that I'm going to listen to because it interests me. But fucking Doyle.
Oh God, that fucking guy. Yeah. There's not many guests where I would honestly like outright say like fuck that guy, but like, yeah, fuck that guy. I don't care. I don't, if he never wants to do my show again, like I don't care if I piss him off. Like I don't care what bridge I burn with that. Like what was even the point of him doing those interviews? And I heard, it was funny because I was listening in. It was the weirdest interview setup where like you could hear the other interview he was doing before, like you're on a radio station or something. And so I could hear the other interview he was doing, and he was being a dick to that guy too. And the guy was like so nice, and he's like, okay. And like, he's like, I don't know, bro. And he's like calling him bro and stuff. And I was like, oh, what is wrong with it? I don't know why he does interviews. I guess some sort of punk funny thing, joke that I'm not in on. I don't know.
All right.
So I don't think anybody's in on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
If it is like his shtick or a joke.
I just think he just doesn't like doing any of that. And like unless
right.
like I've heard him on Jocelyn's podcast, and like, he's like, yeah, man, whatever, like, all into it because he's somebody. Like anybody, I think if you're not like in the total A list, B list, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but if you're not like in the scene, so to say, he's just like, oh, what the fuck?
So why do it?
Exactly. How does that help you? I was trying to help him like with his website and stuff, help him sell his products or whatever. And he's like, oh, I've never been on my website. I'm like, you're not like selling anything with this. Like people are going to like you less. Like you're going to get unfollowed and you're going to get less people coming to your concerts. Like, it was just bizarre to me. I was like, okay.
I give you a lot of credit because I think knowing Rocco and myself, and we would probably keep it professional, but like there is a slight chance that
I'll be
would've
honest, I
fucking-
wouldn't. If I had him on again, I would have just called him out on his bullshit. I was
Yeah.
cocky going in thinking, I was like, okay, I know he's gonna be tough, but I've sucked all the rules and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna do a really good interview. I'm gonna win him over. That's what I thought. That was what I thought. And then I just was like laughing. I was like, this is so ridiculously bad. I think I even laughed in the interview. I was like, this is like hilarious.
I'll tell you this. It was, so you were super professional. You had your questions, you had, it was good insight. It was all this stuff. So it's not like, okay, he was being interviewed by like a first timer, like a hack or like that. But he, like, if I heard that interview, didn't know you, didn't whatever, I'd be like, I would never go see this guy play music. I would never do it because he sounds like a total dick. And listen, as an Italian from New Jersey,
Yeah.
where Doyle's from and what he is, like, it sounds like sacrilege, but like, I'm like, holy shit. What? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard because sometimes you have to separate the person from, the band or the movie or whatever they're in. Cause I mean, there's a lot of just people that I love with their art, their music, or their movies or the TV, but them as people, I think they're garbage. So, I mean, sometimes you got to separate, but for me, I'm not that big of a Misfits fan anyways, but like, it would have won me over if he would have given me a great interview. Cause that's happened a lot with guests where I'm like, I'm kind of lukewarm on the band or whatever. And then like, I meet them and I'm like, okay, I like the band more now. I don't know why, you know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For him, it was the opposite. So yeah.
It's almost like when you go see a band live that you're like, yeah, you want to know what my friend wanted to go see him? I'll go see them. And you see that band live and you're like, I'm going to go tomorrow and I'm going to listen to them on Spotify and I'm going to go,
that's how Bad Religion was for me. I was never really into Bad Religion. I knew a couple songs. My girlfriend at the time was like, hey, do you want to go to this Bad Religion concert? I really didn't, but I was like, all right. And then that guy won me over. And then I got to interview him. That was really cool. I wish I had more time, but yeah, he's a fascinating guy. Greg Graffin. He's a doctor, PhD.
Really?
Yeah.
My brother, a little older than me, he said, and I was probably like in my early 20s. He was like, come on, dude, we're going to see the Police. They're back together. And I was like, all right, I'll go see them. And this was, going back when I think they played MetLife, Giant Stadium.
Archie actually confessed like 10 things. No, ban the Police. You have no idea.
What year was this?
In my 20s. It had to be in my 20s. You got to go back. The last time that they were together. The last tour that they have done, whatever year that would be. And I said, okay, I'll go. And I went to that show and I was fucking singing Regatta I was fucking coming out of there going, I'm like, really? They were fucking phenomenal. They were fucking phenomenal. And Prince too. Like I never listened to I never listened to Prince. Prince just wasn't my thing. I always knew like the 80s hits and shit. But I went to go see him live. I was like, this motherfucker is an underrated guitar player by far.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
isn't that the joke? Like, I guess it's not true, but I thought it was real where they asked Eric Clapton, hey, how does it feel to be the best guitar player? He's like, I don't know. You'd have to ask Prince. But I guess that was like an urban legend or something.
Yeah. He's that fucking good. Like he was that good. Insane. But yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. I wanted to give our listeners like a little background about you. Now from what I see on your YouTube, 2019, was that like around when you started or did you start before that?
Yeah, about 2019, I think. Yeah.
What made you decide to start a podcast?
I mean, I think I guess there's always kind of been like little things throughout my life. Like in college, I did like college radio and I was like, I just remember the first time doing college radio and just like talking on a microphone and the board and all that. Like, it just was like, it like energized me. You know what I mean? Like some people, you walk onto the football field and that's like, you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Or, like, I guess if you're a teacher walking in the classroom or a nurse, the hospital, whatever. But for me, I was like, whoa, this is cool. And then I kind of I lost touch with it because, college radio, they want you to play the shittiest music. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so then I went into psychology. And then I think it was like years later, my cousin works for the news station out here, the local news. And he started a podcast. And this was like I don't know, it had to have been like 2015 or something like that.
Mhm.
And I was like, you started a podcast? I was that like through like the news station that you work for? And he's like, no, I just started it. And I was like, wait, like anybody could just start a pod? Cause I didn't really know. That was like when podcasts were pretty new. I mean, I knew
Yeah.
like Joe Rogan had one and stuff, and I didn't really even know really that much about podcasts. And so he told me all you could do is get this hosting site. And
Yeah.
and some people I think get a hosting site for free. You get a hosting site, got to have obviously a microphone and stuff. So, I figured it out. It took it's like bought the microphone, and then it was kind of like, yeah, I'll get to that one day. And then it's like, years later it comes around. Okay, yeah, time to get this thing off the ground. And then I think 2019 was around the time where I was like, I really want to get more serious about it, because I was just working in education. I was like, I cannot work in education anymore. It is just draining me. It's great for some people that it's like I said, if you love teaching, you walk into the classroom, you feel energized. I walked into school and it's just like drained my energy. So I was like, okay, I need to find something in media. And actually I was supposed to go to this conference. I think it was like jobs in sports. And it was right before the pandemic or whatever. And I was thinking, okay, I'm, cause I was doing the podcast, but I'm like, this isn't going to make a career for me. So I got to go to this sports conference and maybe I'll find some sort of job in sports.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit and it got canceled. So then I was like, all right, there's nothing to do but sit in your house and do podcasts. So I know for some people, my condolences to anybody who lost anybody or whatever, stressed out during the pandemic. But for me, I was like, this is amazing. I can just sit back and do podcasts, and everybody's home and everybody's wanting to do podcasts because there's nothing else to do. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, you were doing podcasts then, so you remember how much easier it was to get then, because like they were like, yeah, I'm not doing anything, I can't tour, I can't work on a movie or whatever. So
exactly. Yeah, we started in February. We launched our first
I saw that
podcast
right before
right before
because so many popped up right after, and that was so annoying to me, because I was like, what the hell? Why does that was the only downside to that. The good side was that all the guests were more open, but the bad side was everybody was doing a podcast. So you're like, geez Louise, like, how do you compete with all these other podcasts?
I know.
We had it, Arch, we had it probably in the worst, and I'll say like between like 9 months to a year before, like talking at various stages. You know how hard it is to get off the ground, but like talking like, hey, what do we want to do? What's our point of view? What do we want to talk about? Like, what do you want to, that kind of thing. So yeah, we began right before it, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, and we're like, oh my God. But then all of a sudden it became a blessing in disguise.
It was.
Right.
It was. Like if you look at, I think you, my friend, will be, I think 111 that episode for us, right? Out of 111 episodes, 3 are from like New Jersey. Like, because we thought we were going to be like local, and we would go to them, or they would come to us somehow and do podcasts.
Okay.
Like that's we kind of almost started out going like let's do more local people that we know. Rocco and I have been in a band for over 20 years, and like we know some people in the industry, and from club owners to bands to this, and we were gonna probably stay local. If we could get somebody big, that'd be cool. And then all of a sudden it was like fucking shutdown city. I'm like, yo, right? We looked at each other like, what are we gonna do? Let's just go after fucking anybody we can, I guess.
Yeah,
anybody can.
That's when I started transition to Zoom too, because like that made more sense. And obviously you guys you do the video too on YouTube. I feel like that really helps, having the video component, because initially I was just posting like audio stuff on YouTube, and I was like, nobody cares if you don't have the video. It's like it doesn't the algorithm doesn't catch it or whatever. So
correct. Yeah, we did that first too, and I'm like, I think, what are we at? We're in season 4, I guess. I think started like season 3.5 or 4. I was like, we just have to be video. Like, just it has to.
It's annoying to have another thing to freaking worry about, and like have to like thing to go wrong and all that shit. But it really does make a huge difference. And especially, as you probably know, for the clips, that's another thing that's really helped me, is just the short clips has really helped grow the channel for me.
So that's one of my points that I wanted to bring up. That's like, so like looking at like your numbers from my standpoint, like you're doing pretty well, man. That's awesome. Like what do you attest this to? Like where did you see your channel jump from like the start to like, oh, I have some subscribers now, I have some views?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a gradual thing. But I would say, like, initially, obviously, like I said, going from audio only or like little clips or mute live. I used to have like some bands come in and perform. So I'd, post the live performances, and I thought that was kind of cool. But like it didn't really catch on until I went to video, and then just getting the bigger names, getting my name out there, being consistent. That's the biggest thing I think, is posting stuff every week, new episodes, clips. And the thing is, like, you kind of don't know what's going to take off until you get into it and you start practicing, and you're like, okay, like you think like, oh, this is a big name, like this is going to blow. Like I had Tommy Chong, and you think like,
Oh my God.
Cheech and Chong, like what the hell? That's going to be like 5,000, 10,000.
Yeah.
It got like a couple hundred views or something. I was like, oh, that's weird. Cause I think the other thing you got to think about is like, if these guests do a lot of other podcasts, like I think Tommy Chong does, he's always promoting himself, which is great for him, but it doesn't necessarily help my channel very much, because if people Google Tommy Chong, the ones that go to the top are going to be like, Howard Stern, Joe Rogan, all those kinds of things. So, it's kind of finding that name that's big enough that people know, but not too big that it's oversaturated. And I don't know. It's kind of an interesting game, because like I just had a clip. I had Don Dokken from the band Dokken. But I was kind of hesitant to even have him on, because I was like, I don't know does anyone gonna care about Dokken? I don't know. I kind of like him, but I mean, that episode blew up for me. Like a couple clips from that blew up. And I didn't know. I remember like one of the clips, it's him talking about how he used to have Warren DeMartini from Rat was in the band initially. And he's like, oh, I think if we would have kept Warren, we would have done a lot better. George Lynch, like he was hard to work with or whatever. And so I just posted like, oh, Don Dokken likes Warren DeMartini better than George Lynch. Well, that thing blew up. It's like the shitty thumbnail. I didn't really do a lot to the clip. I just kind of posted it as is. I don't even know if I put pictures in it. But it just blew up because everybody wanted to comment and say, no, Warren's better. No, George is better. And people are just going back and forth and like saying, oh, Don's washed up. And they're just like, I'm just going, okay, like keep commenting, because that helps my algorithm. I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you. So go ahead.
Just keep going. Keep it going.
I tell you, we've had the same thing. And I give Archie credit. Like we'll talk for hour and a half with a guest, whatever. And for some reason, he picks up on the exact question that may be like a little like intriguing or whatever it is, and that's the one. Those are the ones that blow up, and he puts them as clips, and I'm like, okay, this guy's on this.
Yeah. Well, another thing I noticed too, that it was like, because I was hesitant with the doc. There's another clip I did that was just a short, because I'll do like short if it's like more than a minute, then I just post it as a regular YouTube video, short video. It's like 2 minutes, But if it's under a minute, you can post it on the YouTube Shorts thing. Yep. And that's totally different. And that's a lot easier to get views, but they don't pay as much. But there was one thing that Don Dokken was saying. He was just bashing Vince Neil. He's saying, oh, Vince Neil's fat, he needs to lose weight. And, he killed Razzle and all. And he was just going off. And I was like, holy shit, this is kind of gold in a way, because it's like great stuff. But like, because I'm not saying it. Vince, if you're listening, I love you, So I was like, but I'm like, And I was kind of hesitant to post it, because I'm like, I don't really want to be like a TMZ kind of thing, but at the same time I was like, well, it's really interesting. And also like he said it wasn't like, and he didn't say afterwards, hey, can you take that part out? Like, I think he wanted that to get out there. So I was like, I might as well post it. So I posted that thing, and that thing blew up. And so I noticed that if you post things that are, you kind of have to post things that are a little bit, I fought this for a long time, but I think you kind of do have to post things that are a little bit controversial, at least some of the time, to get and it's sad that that's just the world we live in. Because I'll post these like really inspirational clips and things, and nobody gives a shit.
No. So, are you trying to spread good?
I tried, but nobody cared. Like, there's so many clips that I've posted that I thought, oh my God, this is such an inspirational story. Like, it inspires me. So I'm thinking, oh, other people will be inspired by that. And a lot of times, no, nobody cares.
Not in this world.
But if you talk shit about somebody, that's the clip you're going to want to use.
And that's
that was something that we talked about like when we first started. Like we're we do music, sports, comedy, what have you, because we're fans of these people, right? So we want to emulate it. Mm-hmm. And Archie always says to them, listen, we edit this. Anything you don't want in here, we'll take out. And I believe that. Like, so if they say, hey, we're good with it, then it's all fair game to like post whatever, whatever snippet you have. But we never wanted to like you said, be a TMZ or profit off of something that they don't want people to hear.
Right. That's the thing is like Don Dawkins didn't. I mean, I think he wants to talk shit about a bunch of people. He talks shit about his guitar player, George Lynch. And so, I mean, some people like kind of like use that. And if you look at Motley Crue, they do the exact same thing. And rappers do this. And I mean, it's kind of a game you play with media, like, especially in today's media. I mean, that's how you've seen the media's change. When I was a kid, the news was boring. It was just like, okay, like, this happened and they would just report. Now it's like opinions and then it's this, and they find the craziest stories and, all this weird shit that's going on in the world. And that's the stuff that goes to the top of the algorithm because everybody's trying to get your attention. So
it used to be just news. Now they editorialize like what they hear, what they say.
Yeah. Or they find the craziest shit to report on. Like, it's not like, if there was some new law that was signed a bill or something like that, that's freaking boring. Who cares about that? But if a congressman got caught giving a hand job to somebody, that's top news. So
that's right. I think since as long as we've been doing this, there was a comedian that reached out to me and was like, "Do me a favor, take out this one line," and I was like, "Okay, not a problem." And my judgment call was there was something from the Tiger King interview that I took out.
Really?
I just felt that I was like, nah, not on my show. I'm not doing that.
Oh, you'll have to tell me about that off air.
I could.
It had to do with someone he did not like.
Carol Baskin, I tell you. Yeah, I mean, he's already said. What else can he say? I mean, the guy tried to murder her. I mean, it was allegedly. I don't know.
I don't know. It was just a thing that I was just like, like because Rocco and I pretty much, we say what we feel to an extent, and we fuck around a lot. But I was like, I was like, nah. But have you ever had any pushback with any guests? Anything? Well, Doyle, we're gonna put Doyle in another category.
Yeah.
But
then again, I think Doyle that's a strategy that he has, that he's like, I'm gonna be a dick in interviews. And that's like my persona. I don't think he's really like that because I know people that are friends with him and they say he's like the nicest guy and all this. So I think it's some sort of like punk attitude, like persona he plays to try to, like get attention. And here we are, we're talking about him. So in a way it works. But and other people, I mean, I've had not a lot, but it's happened, probably 10 or 20, 30 times or something where they'll message me afterwards and say, hey, can you take this part out? Or like one time I had somebody and their manager or publicist or somebody was listening in on the conversation. I didn't even know. I got off the interview and I was like, that was a great interview. No. And then they're like, yeah, you need to take this part out and this part and that. And I was like, okay, well, that's okay. Cause they left in one of the best parts that I thought. They didn't make me take that out. So I've had a little bit of that. I've had like people that are just hesitant. Like one guy said, like he saw some blabbermouth article. It was like right before he was going to come on, and he sent me the article, and he was like, "Yeah, can we make sure we don't like have this on my show or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, anything you want to take out, you're welcome. I'll take it out. If you don't like my question, you don't like your answer." And there was one thing that he had me take out, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm not trying to piss anybody off or cause waves. I think like the shit talk stuff. I mean, you got to laugh at some of it. Some of it's just, I think it's like Don Dawkins talking shit about Vince Neil. Like Vince Neil probably doesn't even give a shit. And if he did sit, he'd probably just laugh and be like, well, I'm playing stadiums, motherfucker. Like, so, I think that's kind of like what they do is it's kind of like in those like political debates, like the guy that's at like polling at like 7%, he always attacks the guy that's polling at like 12%. He doesn't attack the guy he attacks the guy that's like right a little bit above him just to kind of bring him down so he can jump over him.
I could tell you this, going back to the Doyle thing. So Archie and I, obviously in a band, we've opened up.
Where are you guys in, by the way?
We were in a band called War for the Crown.
Okay, cool.
So we opened up a couple of shows for Doyle, 2 or 3 in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Local shows. And he comes out with like sound check. He has his weight benches and that, and I do think it's a shtick. I really do.
Yeah.
So like we actually met him even before we opened up for him. Arch is probably like 7 years, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it is. We went to the Golden Gods, whatever it was,
The Revolver Golden Gods
Whatever it
Awards or
was.
something like that. Yeah.
in the city, and we were like backstage, whatever, and like we see Doyle, like, hey, and we're like, yo, take a picture. He's like, oh, see, this is so New York, not Los Angeles, and like, and then he takes like a bunch of pictures with us. So like to me, it was like his shtick. Like it was like, all right, guys, like but like I don't know. I think that might be his thing, but in that interview, it just sounded like it didn't come off like endearing to him. I'll put it that way.
Right. Yeah. I don't, and I've also heard, I thought I heard something where he said, or somebody said that he has social anxiety or something, which I mean, okay, fair enough. But then again, don't do interviews. Just don't, you don't, it's not going to help you. Like people know you, your fans that are fans of the Misfits, they're going to come to your shows because they like the Misfits or whatever. So, and if you can't talk about the Misfits in interviews, like no one's going to give a shit what you're going to say. If you're just going to like say one word answers, it's like, it's pointless.
Another guest that you had on that I thought was awesome was Tiffany.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That just brings childhood to me. Like that's my childhood. So it's
right.
like, so like looking at her and just like seeing what she's up to, and like I love that. I love her. Well, maybe 2 songs. She had more than 2 songs, but just the hits. But I just remember her, and I'm like, that's fucking great. So I listened to a little bit of that. Like how was talking to someone like that, like from our childhood?
Yeah, that was kind of cool because it was a little bit surreal. I mean, yeah, I know the couple hits or whatever. I mean, I wasn't like a diehard Tiffany fan or whatever, but I have an older sister, and so she liked all that shit. She liked Tiffany and Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and stuff. So she would play that stuff. So I knew all the songs. And I'm trying to remember, like, didn't she also like pose for Playboy or something? I seem to remember that from my years. I don't think I got to that. I was going to ask her about that, but we didn't get to. Plus, I'm sure she's probably been asked about it a million times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just trying to kind of try. A lot of times with people like that, I try to do something a little bit different and not ask them the same questions, because I'll listen to other interviews and I'll be like, okay, all right, she's been asked like 100 times, like, are you sick of singing the song I Think We're Alone Now? And it's like, I probably shouldn't ask that one because she's heard that. And she's always like really polite. She was like, oh no, I love that song. I'm like, I'm thinking in her head, she's probably like, I can't stand this fucking song, but that's her moneymaker. So you can't really.
Of course.
Yeah.
We always try to be mindful of, okay, we obviously we do research like you do, and we don't want to ask the same thing. Like maybe like, again, we're not going to break a story, but we also don't want to ask the same like stock questions and like, that they hear every single interview.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you could still, like, I think there's a way to bring up, because maybe you want to bring up that song or talk something about it, but I try to think like, could I come from it at a different angle and ask a different question about that, or something, because to just ask the same question, you're not really going to stand out as an interviewer, in my opinion. I'm trying to like stand out and do something different. And yeah, that's one thing, like especially with the rock musicians now, is like, I am trying to break a story of some sort. I'm trying to get something new. So I try to think like, okay, what's timely? Like a lot of times I'll just go on Blabbermouth and go, all right, what's going on in the rock world right now? Oh, Pantera just got back together. Well, let me ask him what he thinks of the Pantera reunion. Like, cause people are divided on that, things like that. And then Blabbermouth's like, I mean, they're smart. They know what to like. Oh, I'll take the soundbite of this guy, with his opinion on Pantera, and then that'll be another headline. So,
yeah. Like who did we have on early on from Phil's band that like blew up on Blabbermouth? We had on a rock.
Steven Taylor from Phil and the Illegals.
All right, so we had him on, and I'm a Phil fan, a Pantera fan, and down. But like, I didn't really know Phil and the Illegals. Rocky's more of like a bigger fan than I am. And he's like, oh, we're going to have Steven Taylor on. And I was like, okay, I'll talk to anybody. I don't give a shit. And I did a little research. We had a great conversation. And all of a sudden, like 2 days later, I'm like, what the fuck are all these views? Where are these coming from? I'm like, and then Blabbermouth picked up one of something. I forget what it was. It was a couple of years ago. But I was like, holy shit. where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But like it's always nice when a little gem gets picked up here and there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, those websites, I mean, they're a huge help. You ask about like how did I grow the channel? That's a huge part of it, is the blabbermouth posting it. I don't know that everybody that reads the article, like, because you got the people that see the headline and my name's not even in the headline. So there's some people that just see the headline and go, oh, okay. And then there's other people that click the article and my name's in the article, so they see my name in the article. And then there's the other people that would read the article and then watch the interview. So those are like the diehards. But I mean, yeah, it definitely gets your name out there and recognition a little bit. It's good.
So what else besides that do you contribute to? Like, so are you a one-man band?
Yeah.
Booking,
I mean, my
speaking,
girlfriend
posting.
helps me with what's that?
Booking, speaking, posting.
Yeah,
you know,
all that
like,
shit. Yes. My girlfriend, she helps with the edit, so like when I don't know how you guys do your sound thing. This is probably gonna really bore the audience, but like, you know, like I'll record the video and I'll record the audio of me and the guests separate, because for some reason my camera, it's like high def or whatever, but so it's kind of like delayed with the audio. So I have to like sync it every time. It's really annoying, but I have my girlfriend do that because she has a lot more patience than me. I can do it if like she's on vacation or something. The other, like a couple weeks ago, she was on vacation, so I did it. But yeah, she helps with that. And you know, but yeah, mostly it's just me. I'm a one-man band. It's a lot of work. I feel like I'm always working on it. I'm either like, or thinking about it, like who should I have on, reaching out to people, figuring out which clips to edit, like editing, doing the research, doing the interview. I mean, I'm like always like thinking about it or working on it all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, man. I hear you.
Labor of love.
I'm all in.
And is this like a full-time gig or not yet?
Right now it is. Yeah. I told myself I'm going to give it 5 years and go pretty much all in on this. And then after 5 years, I'll kind of reevaluate and decide, is this something I want to do? Should I try something else? Should I pivot? Like, you know, but I want to just go 5 years of just doing it kind of basically how I've been doing it. But I mean, I've been altering things as I go, like adding the video component and then doing more clips. I think I'm adding that. I'm starting to do, because I think for a while I wasn't doing any clips, and then I would do one clip for every interview. And now I'm trying to do like maybe even 2 or 3 clips from interviews, and I'm going to go back to, and I think I'm going to find, because like I said before, I didn't do any clips. So I might go back into some of my older interviews and post some old clips. Because as you guys know, like December, it really slows down with booking and guests. Not very many guests have things to promote in December. I think they take that time off to be with their families or whatnot. So I might spend that time like editing clips or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going back to some of our old stuff and checking it out, and a little. I do like to do like a throwback Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
like I'll do. Lately, Rocco and I have been schlepping out, and we've been doing like these like silly hot dog reviews. And I
saw that. I saw you had a bunch of those like on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, so we've been going out to local hot dog places, and we've been doing like these little videos just to bump up the podcast a little bit and just to have fun. And people are starting to engage more with us.
Well, people love food, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's like that Barstool Sports guy. He does the pizza stuff. You could be the hot dog guy.
Yeah, we'll be the fucking wieners. The wiener. One bite. Bite my wiener. But we've been going out and doing this stuff, and yeah, people have been interacting with us more, and I've been starting to see you know, our views go up. I'm like, all right. So and it's fun for us. Like, we're being stupid, you know. Like, our podcast is not a serious podcast. We do like to get a good story. We do like to hear someone's truest form of themselves and good opinions, but it's not these two fucking guys like we're fucking schmucks from New Jersey.
Well, yeah, you gotta
have a great
have
time.
If you don't have fun, then like, to me it's like, what's the point? Like,
yeah,
exactly.
We are serious about the guests and like what we're talking about. Other than that, it's just
right.
fun.
Where are you at now? You're in Arizona, you said?
I'm in Arizona. Yeah, I'm in Scottsdale. I grew up in Seattle, and then I moved here like, was it like 2008? And I love it. It's weird. I'll go back to Seattle and I'm like, oh, can't wait to get back to Arizona.
Really?
It just feels like home to me. Yeah, I love Seattle in the summer. Is like, if you ever go to Seattle, go in the summer. It's absolutely amazing. Like August and September are like perfect. It's like the most beautiful place you'll ever go to. But like the other 8 or 9 months, it's like, it's kind of depressing. So
Isn't there is Seattle where they have is it called the June gloom or something like that? Like something like where it's just like
I feel like it's like year round gloom. Like I feel like sometimes even in August, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna like plan a barbecue or something, and then it would like rain. And I'm like, it's fucking August. Why is it raining in August? I'd get pissed. And so yeah, here it's like you don't have that problem very often. And we have this thing called the monsoon. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's like
No.
in August they have this monsoon. It's like this crazy rainstorms that just come in, and like it'll be like a flash flood and there's crazy lightning. And it's weird because I'm from Seattle, so you think I know rain, but like
Yeah.
Seattle, it's just like a year-round drizzle. But here it's like these crazy thunder and lightning storms. And actually, funny, I posted a video. It's on my YouTube, but it's also on my TikTok. And I just posted, I took my phone and just stuck it out the window and was like, holy shit, look at this rainstorm. And I posted that on TikTok and it got like 500,000 views. It was insane. It's like the most craziest thing I've ever posted on TikTok. But the comments, people were just ripping me a new one. Like, yeah, you never seen a rainstorm in Arizona, you pussy. Like, I mean, it was just like, it was really funny.
So in New Jersey, if it rains more than
Off of me.
Arch, right? We use his old hometown as when it rains more than 2 days in New Jersey, we're like, what is this fucking Seattle?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's pretty
Doesn't
much
it rain
us.
a lot over there? I went to New York just once and we were there for like 6 days and I feel like it rained like 4 of the days and it was in like May or June. I thought that was like a nice time to go.
If you
Yeah,
came
it
if you came this year, I don't know if you were here this year, but
rained every weekend.
I'm
like-
too honestly, like I'm a little scared to come now. Like this was in like 2016, but
oh, okay.
maybe I'm
because-
just watching the news and maybe the news is trying to scare me, but I'm hearing stories of, like people getting pushed into the subway tunnels and shit. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go with bring my
I think it, here and there. Maybe if you find a lucky one, you might get pushed in. But
has it gotten like you guys are? How far are you from like New York City?
Like less than 10 miles. So
really?
we're very close,
Yeah.
like 7 miles, whatever it is.
Okay, so you go into the city. So have you noticed the change? Has it gotten worse with the like homeless and the crime and all that stuff?
So here's the thing, Chuck. Being so close to the city, we never go to the city. like we'll go. So like if there's like a concert at Madison Square Garden or then that's the only thing, right? We don't like where we live outside of the city, like for dinner or like wherever we go. You're only going there for like big events. So Arch, what do you say? I go to the city 3 times a year. You?
Yeah, maybe.
And it sounds insane. And like
It does.
Like growing up, I had cousins from Las Vegas, and they're like in the West Coast, like they come over, like, let's go to the city. Let's go to the city. I'm like, it's really not that great. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Now, all right. So here's the thing. Growing up, we would absolutely go to the city a lot, and we've played bars, and we've played CBGBs, and we've played cool venues in the fucking city. We've seen bands in the city. Like I guess it's like one of those things that you're by it. So it's like, you hear you talk to a New Yorker, you want to go to Jersey. They're like, oh, I'm not going to Jersey.
For what?
For what? Yeah. So like to me, like if someone says, hey, you want to go to the city? I'd be like, for what? What are we doing?
Yeah.
No, that's true. Cause I remember like living in Seattle. I mean, we were on the outskirts of Seattle. I was like probably 20 minutes away. And like, when I was a kid, I remember taking the bus to go to downtown Seattle. It was kind of fun. I was just reminiscing with my buddy about this today. Cause Seattle in the 90s. And so there was like, you'd go into these coffee shops and there'd be these amazing musicians that, I mean, maybe later they made it big. I don't know. But like, that was kind of fun. But then, later when I got older, it's like the only time I went down to the city usually was like for Seahawks games.
Yeah. I've been to Seattle once and I was there for like a day and a half and it was rainy and
sounds about right.
Shelters. I remember shelters. I was like, there was a lot of shelters where I was like staying. And it was for a client we were with clients and we went out to eat and T-Mobile I think has a headquarters out there. I don't know if they still do. So it was for T-Mobile. And
Archie was with clients. He's actually a man whore, just so you know.
My clients. But
should have gone to LA then. Seattle is not as good.
It was cool though, just to go. I went down the alleyway, right, with all the
gum wall.
The gum wall. Yeah.
I saw some TikTok where a girl took a piece of gum off a gum wall and ate it. It was so gross. And she was a hot girl. I'm like, you can just show your boobs and you get way more views than.
And then eat shitty gum.
Yeah, it was weird.
What's the place where the fish market where they throw the fish at you?
Pike Place Market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went
that's
near
cool.
there, I think. Yeah.
It's so funny because every time there's like a Seahawks game on like Monday Night Football or something, they always show a clip of like them throwing the fish, like every time without fail. It's hilarious.
So how do you I mentioned before, music, sports, and comedy. Now you do others. You have other guests of other genres. So to
Yeah.
say. But what piques your interest for guests?
Anything that's interesting, honestly. Like I think I'm kind of maybe ADD, or I don't know what you want to call it, but I see. I know there's people like Eddie Trunk, who you guys had on Eddie Trunk, right? Yeah. So so Eddie Trunk. I mean, his job is rock music interviews 24/7. He's living rock music, and that's like his full time. I think I would get so burned out on that. I mean, I could probably do it. Like if Sirius called me and was like, "Hey, we want you to take over a rock show," I could probably do it for a few years, but I just have so many other interests. I love sports, probably more than music, really. And I love stand-up comedy. I love movies and TV. I love books. I love conspiracy theories. I love going on the TikTok conspiracy rabbit hole and true crime. I mean, there's just so many things I'm interested in. It would be hard to just stick to one thing. I mean, and like it'll be funny because I'll do a bunch of musicians and I'm like, oh, I'm so burned out on interviewing musicians. And then I'll interview like an author or something. And I'm like, oh, that was so heavy. I need to have like a fun interview with a rock star, So it works well for me. So I don't get burned out, is that being able to bounce back and forth.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm very big into true crime as well.
Yeah. It's so popular too. That's one of my most popular interviews is Dr. Catherine Ramsland. She's like an author and a forensic psychologist. And she actually had the Idaho student, the Idaho killer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that story, but he was like her student. And so everybody was going back and trying to figure out like what the fuck happened? Like, how did this guy kill people? And did she know? And so my interview started blowing up right around the time that they figured out that she was his teacher. And then actually Dateline NBC called me and they were going to use a clip of my interview. And I was like, oh my God, I've made it. This is it. This is the, this is going to like this is going to blow up my channel. And then like, I called them like right before and I was like, yeah, we're still a go. And they're like, yeah, we can't do that. We can't, our lawyers nixed it. So yeah.
I love Dateline. You?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love all those things, forensic files and
that
shit. It's great.
Rocky always thinks somebody's about to murder him anyway.
Listen, Arch, I gotta tell you, Chuck and I are starting a true crime podcast. You're out. I'm so sorry.
We could, man. It would take off immediately. Like you just put up a thumbnail of Jeffrey Dahmer and say like crazy serial killer story and 5,000 views right away. I bet.
It's fun.
I grew up on Forensic Files. I love Dateline. I love all like the hosts. Like if you have a second after this, Bill Hader, he does impressions of all the hosts like of Dateline, and it's
really?
hilarious.
That sounds funny. I love Bill.
And who's my favorite guy? Who's the white haired guy? I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but he does a fantastic impression of all of them. It's pretty cool.
I just posted a Bill Hader. It was something about, oh God, what was it? It was some impression he did, a story about Van Halen. It was so awesome. I shared it on my YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys know, you can like share videos to your YouTube followers. It's kind of cool, but yeah, I shared that one. It was so good.
Yeah, he is.
I thought I just heard something. I heard something with him. Did he do like did he do an impression of, I think he did an impression of the brothers fighting.
Yes, that's what it is, I think. Yeah. It's
or arguing or something.
Or maybe David Lee Roth is in it too. Or yeah, I can't remember, but it's really good. And it's a impression of like an actual clip that I think you could watch. You could watch the clip and then watch his version of it. I'm a sucker for impressions. I've had a few guys on that do voices. I just had Craig Gass.
I listened to that this morning.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
He's fun.
Great.
I saw him years ago because I'm a huge Kiss fan. So fucking I saw him years ago and I'm like, oh dude, like there's nobody that does a better impersonation than Gene Simmons.
Yeah,
And
you
fucking,
should get him on because he's promoting his shows in New York. So that would be a great
definitely
interview for you guys.
Yes. And thank you very much too. Yeah, we'd like to say for the leads that you actually you hit us up. Very nice of you to actually DM us and Greg Warren.
Yeah, I listened to that interview. That was a great
Yeah.
interview, and you shouted me out twice, which I was like, "Wow, thank you so much for that." And yeah, he had some. It was interesting because I listened to a lot of interviews because I've interviewed him twice, so I always like do research. And you guys brought us some stuff that I'd never heard before. I was like, "Wow, like I never heard that." So I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was really interesting. And also your take on how he had like the Mitch Hedberg rhythm. I was like, "Oh, that's true. He does kind of have that."
I feel like he does. And then I
Yeah.
then I actually felt not bad, but I didn't want to like be like you're copying somebody because I don't think he is. But
No, it's just influenced.
I'm like a huge comparison guy. Like anytime a band comes on, there's always a step before somebody. Somebody always has some type of there's influence somewhere, somehow, some way, So
Yeah.
like I always like to say, dude, I love your band, bro. Like the single blah 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 sounds like almost like a Bad Religion meets a, and then sometimes you can see in an artist's face that they're like, yeah, and then sometimes they're like, really.
Oh, that's funny. That reminds me when I had Doug Pinnick on from King's X, and I was going through his new album, and I was like, "This one sounds like this meets this," and he's like, "No, you're wrong." But I love Doug. He's great. He's one of my favorite guests I've ever had. I've had him on twice, and he's. I don't know if you guys are King's X fans, but even if you're not, just have him on. He's just a great guest. He's got great stories.
Definitely.
Yeah, he does.
Definitely. I do have to.
I just remembered the guy from Dateline, Keith Morrison.
Yes, that's him. You're right. That's spot on.
Like you can't really think of anybody that we've actually like. I've never been in a situation where I've had somebody, and I was like, oh fuck, like this is like maybe like once or twice. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking horrible. This is gonna be a bad interview. Like we gotta do something because this is gonna be bad. But like generally everybody's very nice and very cool, and everybody's very receptive, and they want to promote, so they're going to promote,
Right. No, that's exactly right. And I mean, I think, especially if you're getting people that have done a bunch of interviews before already, they kind of know like what works and what doesn't. And I think some of them even get like coaching or something from their publicist. It feels like I've had some that are, I mean, I think there's one guy, I can't remember who, but I even asked him, I was like, did you like get coaching or like practice from your publicists or managers back in I think it was Jeff Pilson. Because he was just so professional in the interviews. I was like, wow, it seems like he's like been coached or practiced on this stuff. It was really like amazing how good of an interview he is in terms of like knowing when to say like, no, I can't talk about that, but like doing it in a respectful way,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. We have like certain people on, and I'll tell Archie and I'll tell the guests as soon as we start. Listen, it's an interview. I'm not a journalist. I'm gonna be a complete fanboy right now. So let's go.
Yeah, I think a lot of them like that too, even though who was it was Craig Gass was telling me how Gene Simmons loves that. Like he loves when people fanboy over him.
Yeah.
That's to pretend he doesn't, but
So
I get it.
if here's a question. If I came to you, if someone came to you and said, Chuck, I see you got a really a really cool podcast. It's established. I'm going to start a podcast. What advice would you give to this person?
I mean, the main thing is just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Like, I think people sometimes have this idea in their head, like, okay, I'm going to start a podcast and it's going to blow up overnight and I'm going to be the next Joe Rogan in like 4 months. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. So if you start I mean, like, I guess either temper your expectations or have patience, because it takes a long time to build something. I mean, it's different if you are some of these people that are comedians and musicians, they already have a following, so they could start a podcast and it's like super easy. Like they're already going to get listens just based on who they are. But if you're just like me and you're like nobody and you're just coming out of the basement, like you have to temper your expectations and just you know, and just be prepared to fail and be prepared to have those interviews like the Doyles where you're just like, what the fuck is this? This is fucking terrible. I'm terrible. I mean, I interviewed like Jeff Tate from Queensryche. That was such an awkward interview. I had COVID and he just was not liking my questions or me or whatever. And it's just awkward. I don't know. Like sometimes you're just going to have those interviews. And so if you're expecting it to get everything to go perfect and you're going to blow up right away, it's like, you're going to be severely disappointed. So
yeah. Good advice. Good advice, brother, man. I could speak for Rocky and myself. We really appreciate you coming on and taking some time and chilling with us. And we love what you do, man, because pretty much doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, likewise. Yeah. Like the interviews I've heard of your guys has been great. So I'd be fun to follow you and see your channel grow too.
As you as well, my friend. Please tell everybody out there where they can find you, where they can listen to you, everything.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing that I'm promoting now is the YouTube channel. And that's just Chuck Shute, my name. And Shute is spelled Shute, which I'm sure that you'll write it on the post or whatever. And you know, I mean, I'm on everything. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook. I have like my personal pages on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and then I have strictly podcast pages on all three of those that are just clips and links of the podcast. I'm on Twitter too, I guess. Like nobody ever follows me on Twitter, or I don't know. Like sometimes I'll just post random thoughts on there. It doesn't really do much. I did have one tweet blow up that because I was making it always goes like shit talk, but I was making fun of I think it was Adam Levine or something, because he hosted Saturday Night Live and he looked like Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver. So I posted a screenshot and I mentioned that, and that thing that blew. That's like the only tweet I've ever had that really blew up. But yeah, I'm on all that shit.
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to know what you need to start? You need to start shoot the shit. So, you need a little segment called shoot the shit, and that's like your random.
I was thinking something like that, or like shoot gets real or something like that. Like, shoot gets real, like shoot gets real, like something like that. There's so many plays I can do with my name. It's
absolutely
like why I don't do that.
Everyone out there, the Chuck Shute podcast, definitely check him out. The guests are awesome. The interviews are awesome. You do your research and you can see it in the interviews, my friend. So best of luck to the future and everything you're doing. And we'll definitely we'll collaborate. We'll do something. We'll talk again down the road.
Yeah, I'll have to have you guys on my chat. We could do like a live stream or something and just shoot the shit about whatever, like whatever you guys want to talk about. If there's a subject or something, or New York stuff or New Jersey stuff, like East Coast things, we could I have a few friends from the East Coast like that. I'd love to do like a New York episode where we just talk all the like best pizza places, best hot dogs.
Absolutely.
New York stories.
That'd be great.
Listen, we thank you. We look up to you. We appreciate what you've done for us, and awesome job, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. It's like, it's always amazing. It's humbling to be a guest. You know, I don't feel like I deserve it, but thank you so much for having me.
You don't have to do research. You don't have to do research. It's about yourself.
Well, I did some anyway. I watched some more of your episodes, and
nice.
Yeah, you know, it's like I love like your intro and stuff, and I love your logo.
Awesome.
I think that's really cool. Man. It's like so smart because it's like it's like all those things. Like you got the sports and you got the guitar and the comedy, and it's all those things that I love too. So I love it.
Awesome, brother.
Awesome.
The great Chuck Shute. Check out his podcast, and we'll talk soon, man.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good one, brother.
Thank you.
Okay.
Later. Everybody out there, that was the great Chuck Shute. What a fucking all-around good guy, Rock, as you called it.
He is. He's an all-around good guy. And
all-around good guy. We're a good podcast, man. Kid does his research.
Very good. He asked very good questions. He, you know, and you have to give it credit. Like he does it all himself, right?
Sure. I hear you, man. Like that to be a one-man band. Thank God I got you on my side, or else I wouldn't know what to do.
You wouldn't know what to do. You'd be lost. Let's be
don't do it.
Fucking lost without me.
I would be lost without you.
Oh my God. I don't want.
With that being said, Rocco, what do you have to say to the people?
If you just heard us talking to Chuck Shute and you had a real hoot, you spent mad loot on a pimp suit with a goldfish in the boot, then you just listen to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. We out. All that is going to B-roll. Oh.
Better not be.
Good night. Good fight.